Ernie came to see me one day. He said, I knew you two would get together. He said, we all did. He said, it was written down in his stars. He said, when you was about 7, that's when he said to me, he said, I've got to marry him.
How I've lived till now. I tell them I don't know.
He said, yeah, you did at the finish, didn't you? You got him at the end. I said, yeah, I did. I said, bloody hard work, but I got him.
How lonely life can be.
This country is at war with Germany.
Well, I was eight years old, and we used to sit at the table having our dinner. We used to have to watch this, George, the air raid warden. And as soon as he'd take his hat off, we'd run. And as you run, you've got the bloody planes coming over. Oh, I don't know if you have to swear, do you? You've got the planes coming over, and you could see the pilots. Hello, it was. It was frightening. When you're in the air raid shelter, the noise of the planes and the bombs dropping, it is terrified. And it was like an old factory. It was an old factory. They made it into a big place for everybody to go in. We used to have them singing and that, and it was really nice. But to come out and see your home's gone was terrible. I never saw that. We was evacuated when my house went. But all your friends' houses, and they're crying, you know, all their houses gone. It's awful. Digging people out of their places. The pub went on the corner, and your street wasn't the same, and it never will be the same. And then other people were moving away because they couldn't take it anymore like we did. You come back and everything's changed, you know. All you see, all the bomb damage and that, and it's just terrible. It was an awful, awful time. And I hope you never have to go through it. We went away to Nottingham because the raids were really bad. We went away for 6 years, and they went away for 3 years to Cornwall. So we didn't see one another for that time. The next time I saw him was when I came back. My dad brought me back, and I was 16, and I liked him more than anything else. But he was very shy, so his brother used to entertain me, like take me pictures and things like that. I probably got on his nerves to keep staring at him. He got his call-up papers for the National Service, 2 years. He enjoyed every minute of it in the army. He used to box for the army, and he had a lot of mates in the army, and so he enjoyed it. Alice and Ernie, who are now my father-in-law and mother-in-law, they started asking me over, and they'd take me to see a show or things like that, you know, which was nice. And I just said, is it all right if I write to him? She said, yeah, okay. So I started writing, and he wrote back, and he wrote me some lovely letters, calling me my girl, you're my girl, and all this, don't go out with anybody else, and all this lot. I still went out with all my friends, had a couple of boyfriends, because I knew that he wasn't thinking of me as I thought of him at the time. When Reedy was getting married, this twin boy lived up the road to us. Nice looking fella, Jimmy, his name was, identical twins. Started going out together, and I said, my sister's getting married. So he said, oh, I'll get a suit made. 2 weeks before the wedding, Alice and Ernie came up to see us, and I happened to hear her say, Joey's coming to the wedding. He's home on leave from the army, he's coming to the wedding. I kept thinking about it. I said to my Junie, I don't want to go with him anymore. Joey's coming to the wedding. So anyway, we was going to go have pictures on the weekend. So he's come round for me, and I'm sitting up in my bedroom. My mum shouted out, Maurice, Jimmy's down here. Oh God, what am I going to do? So I called Junie, she'd come in. I said, June, go down and tell Jimmy I don't want to go to the pictures. I never saw him anymore, but my brother-in-law saw him in years to come, and he said, you know what she did, and half hurt me. He said, I thought that was the girl of my life, and she really hurt me. He said, and I never found out what it was about. So my brother-in-law told him. She said, well, it's someone she's loved all her life, and he was coming home from the army to be at the wedding. She didn't want him to know she had a boyfriend. one day I'm writing my letter to him, and then my dad said, "Who are you writing to?" I said, "Joe." He said, "He's not in Germany." I said, "He is. He's in Berlin." He says he's in the market. He's been home for a week and he's working down the market. I mean, he's doing that. My dad worked there. So I said, he's not even told. Didn't say to you, tell Mario. No, he ain't said a word. I said, that's it. He only wants me as a pen friend. That's all then. I know in this. So I've got the papers and all the photographs and letters he sent me. And sent them in a parcel to his house. And left it at that. And I thought, that's the end of us. Then a couple of days after, my dad said that they needed somebody in the cafe to work as a waitress. And I said, okay, I'll have the job. He hummed and hawed about getting up at 4, but I think I'd have done anything just to get down the market. So I went and worked there. First, as we got off the train, I mean, I was still tired, I really was. We got off the first train at Mile End and got onto the train to take us to the market. And as we're standing on the platform, a train comes in, and who should be on that train but him, his brother, and his dad. I don't think he knew I was going down there. I'm not sure if my dad had told him. And so I got on there, but I wasn't looking at him like he'd let me down sort of thing. Went down the market and got the job. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Went out with a couple of fellas down there. And this one of the fellas, his name was Bobby, and he used to come in the cafe where Joe used to go in another cafe with a lot of fellas. So when this Bobby came in the cafe, kept asking me to go out with him, I kept saying no, no, no. Then one day I thought, oh yes, I might as well, so I did. And he nicked one of my photographs off me. And he's showing the photograph off in the cafe where they all go. My new girlfriend, he was getting a bit annoyed and all that, but then that's his fault. And then that was going on, and he'd come in the pub a couple of times when I was sitting there waiting for my dad to come home. He wouldn't come up and talk to me because I was sitting talking to somebody, and he'd just stand there, then he's leaving to go home, and I thought, well, if you can't come up and talk to me, that's it. And so it went on like that, on and off. And then the last time, it was at Christmas time, I went into this pub to have a drink with the girls I worked with in the charge hand. And there was a fella standing at the counter, and then Joe was standing at the counter. And this fella called me over. He said, Maureen, want to come to a party at Christmas Eve? I said, I don't know, I'll think about it. Well, Joe walked across and he said, if anybody's taken to that party, I am, she's my girl. I thought, oh my God. Anyway, he said, I'm going over to see the dads in the other pub. Coming with me? So, of course, I'll run, didn't I? Run off. Yes, I'll come. Went there and went and said hello to our dads. And he said, come on, let's get a cab and I'll come home to my place. So I hadn't seen Alice for a while, like. So anyway, went to his place, got in there and sitting down, she made some tea and that. He's laid on the settee and's gone to sleep. I thought, oh, thank you very much. So I was chatting to her and I said, oh, I'll make a move in a minute. No, she said, he's going to see you to the bus stop. You're not just going like that. And I knew we'd made arrangements about the party, but not proper arrangements. So then she woke him up, said, you've got to take Maury home. So anyway, he walked to the station with me and he said, I'll meet you when you get off the train. We go to the party, meet you when you get off the train. So I said, okay. So I got all ready to go there. I was all looking forward to it. At last, I got to the station. I'm standing there, walking up and down the platform. I wonder where he is. He's supposed to meet me on the station, on the platform. He's not here. I waited an hour and a half, and I thought I've had enough, and I went home. So after the holidays, we went back to work, and I'm in the canteen doing sandwiches, and my father-in-law came up to me, and he said, Joanne, I've needled with you. I said, oh, is he? I'm needled and all. So he said, he waited outside with a cab for you, take you to the party. I said, yeah, and I waited on the platform for him to pick me up. He said to me, I'll meet you as you get off the train, and off the train means the platform to me. And he went, you too. And he's walked out the room and he's gone over to where he worked and he's told him. So instead of him making arrangements to come and tell me we go somewhere else, he told his dad the arrangements to make, or his dad told him what to do. So he's come back. He said he didn't realise you was there. I said, yes, I was. Anyway, what difference it make? So he said, no, what's happening? He said he's going to pick you up at Marlin Station. I said, oh, yeah. On the platform, as you get off the train, take you to the cinema. So I said, yeah, okay. When I got there, just waiting on the platform. One day he said, come on, let's go for a walk up the road. I said, all right. Walking up the road, sitting down on the bench. And he said, I think we will get engaged. So I looked at him, I thought, oh God, at last. So he said, on one condition. Very romantic, Granddad was, very romantic. I said, what's the condition? So he said, that you leave the market. I don't want you working down there no more. I said, boy, I just don't want you working down there no more. Oh, I said, I'll give it up. And I gave it up straight away. And then the year after we got married. Lovely big wedding it was. Most of the market porters were down there. It was really massive. It was lovely. One day out here, when the boys were grown up, we was talking about, I said, he wasn't good at spelling, because he used to play truant for school. So he wasn't good at spelling. So I said, well, you used to write some lovely letters to me. The spelling was okay. He said, but them letters, they was dictated to me. I said, what? My love letters was dictated. I didn't know how to write a letter. So I said, well, I'm glad I got rid of them then.
And yes,
I had to do all the running. I always said I chased him, and I did, I think. Once you know the person's right for you, you do anything. I don't think he realised how much I wanted to be with him. I don't think he realised that. I really don't. Probably just me. Starstruck or something, whatever they call it. Love struck. And, but I got him at the end. And let nobody else have him.